Hello, I'm Valerie McLennan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. I hope you're well. This is my spiritual channel, Valerie Mac, Scottish, spiritual, and very funny, allegedly. Now, if you've been following me a while, thank you very much, and please stay with me. And if you're a new listener, thank you very much. Could you kindly revert back and listen to my previous podcasts? I'll be adding the ones, as I mentioned previously. I've been doing this now for a couple of years, but I changed the channel, some of the podcasts, etc. So there's only actually a few on here, so I'll be bringing some back over from the other channel on here at a later date. So please revert back to the ones that are on there. I think I uploaded a couple this week. Quite funny. I think you may even laugh. I do. I think you might find wisdom and a little bit of humour. Now, I'll keep it light this evening because it's a Friday evening and I don't know, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you going out? What are you doing? Or you just come in? You'll be doing one or two. You'll either just gone in or you'll be coming out from work or in from work. Yeah, I know what I mean. Keep it light. Anyway, I'm always saying in life, little things happen in your day that maybe you hadn't planned for. Just little funny things. I'm not talking about serious stuff today. Little funny things. Now, close to where I live, I'm in Scotland. You are not Scottish. I am. Now, the schools around the area where I live, are on holiday this week. So no, I had a conversation with a few people and they were saying, oh, thank goodness, it'll be nice and quiet. Be quite quiet this week because the schools are off for a week. Well, no sooner had we uttered the words, it'll be nice and quiet for a week because the schools are off. Well, no sooner, as I said, had the words left my lips when the lorries and things arrived in the area to redo the roads and the tar and etc. What was their reason? Because they could do it when the schools were off. Who said the universe and the creator doesn't have a sense of humour? I know, just thought I'd get a little bit of peace for a week, nice and quiet. No, so then all the workmen decided that this is a very week. It'd be a good idea for them to redo the roads, retar the roads, etc., etc. What did they bring with them? Digger things, don't know the proper name, diggers, and steamrollers. I know that name. Anyway, the whole entire day. Now, keep in mind, they've been here for a while, but they were here, then they were away, Anyway, they arrived, they were here today. Honestly, I know the noise one of those machines make. Do you know the noise when, like a digger, or anything like that, one of those little digger things, if that's what it's called, when they're reversing? Beep, beep, that kind of thing? Well, does the volume of that have to be so loud? I know. People can hear it. It doesn't have to be at that level. Anyway, now, keep in mind, this was probably from about 9 o'clock till maybe around 2 o'clock. Beep, beep, every time he reversed. And should I say he? There must have been about 2 or 3 of them. And I thought, I'll never get this out of my head. Beep, anyway. So in the middle of the one doing beep, beep, going round the streets, reversing, or even when he was going forward, I don't know what he was doing. Whatever way he was going, it seemed to be beeping really, really loud. And, oh well, the one with the beep beep would go out of sight for 3 seconds. And I thought, oh my head, just going to enjoy about 3 seconds of peace until he came back round the corner. No, the steamroller came. I know. Steamrolling the tar. I know. Now, in addition, they can't hear each other because his beep beep is so loud and the steamroller's so loud that they're shouting to each other. If they have a question, they were screaming at each other. Anyway, I happened to have to take a phone call in the middle, but this had been going on for about 9 till about 2 o'clock. And, several times in between, I think I either fainted or blocked it out. But I was on a call and someone said, what on earth? Where are you? They thought I was in the middle of a construction site. I said, in my kitchen, actually. In my kitchen. Oh, why? Just tell me, why has it got to be so loud? I know they're telling people they're reversing. People can, if you were going, towards them, they can see you. And even if they're reversing, we can hear you. It doesn't need to be quite that high. I know. Some people are just attention seeking. I know. It doesn't need to be as loud as that. Anyway, and the blooming steamroller thing. Anyway, that went on whole day. The roads looked nice. I'm so pleased. I've never been so fed up with tar in my life. Anyway, that was us. I know the schools are back on Monday, and a few people were saying, well, so much for that. Do you think I'll have a little bit of peace? And then no sooner Have you said the words when a bloomin' steamrolly digger thing? There's quite a few of them. Anyway, that was that today. The minute they went away. Nothing personal, if any of you happen to be listening. I know, I appreciate the work, but my head is only just starting to kind of calm down now. It was. And I was actually out for a walk, and quite a good distance from my house, many streets away, people were saying, I know, could hear it up here. I know, what's that all about? What's it all about, Elfie? Anyway, that was my Friday. Thankfully, I don't think they work at weekends. We appreciate your work. It's all great. Just wish you could do it a little bit quieter than that. Anyway, what have you been up to? Have you been working? Have you? Is this you in now? What you're doing? Are you doing any of my spiritual work? No, I don't suppose so. Are you putting anything into action that I'm mentioning about your health and your mind and the whole thing? Oh, do you know the other thing? I was keeping it light this evening. Light bulbs. I know. I'll just be very brief. I mentioned light bulbs in the past 2 years ago when I started this channel, and you laughed then. And as the man who was wanting to be a comedian said when people didn't take him seriously, aye, well, you're no laughing now. Well, you're not laughing now. Those bulbs, why can't they just make them bright so that I can see? I know. Unless you invest something and you buy one of those, the kind of lights that are, you could probably use in a football stadium. Something like that. Some people have got pure, bright, dazzling lights. It goes from one extreme to the other. You either have the big, dazzling lights where, you can see for miles, or you have bulbs and lights that are kind of tinted, and you can barely see. You can barely see. Now, I said previously, I think my suspicion is that the people who make light bulbs and lights generally are in cahoots with the opticians. I know. I think that's the idea. I think they're going, use that thing, use this light. They won't be able to see properly, and then they'll be staggering into the opticians, if we can find it. I know. I've never known so many people going to the opticians. I say to people, are you going today anywhere nice? Opticians. I know. This is if they can get past the diggers. Deep, deep, peep, peep. Now, apart from that, that's the light bulb and the thing. I know, I'm not even doing AI. I'm not doing AI. I'm just saying to you, if you're thinking this is progress, I don't know. And as I said previously, those little aliens that were in the 1980s or 70s or whenever they were, in that little potato advert, that were lying, hysterically laughing, those little aliens laughing their heads off at human beings, I'll tell you something, they must be having a field day today. That's what I'm saying. Those aliens must be looking at Earth and thinking, what on earth? What on earth? What on earth? They're going round, they're either blinded, if they look at their phone, if they look into the lights on their phone, it's like looking into the sun, and they're going to be blind forever. I know. You look into your phone, your tablet, etc. The lights are so bright that you're going to burn the eye sockets out of the back of your eyes. I know. And then generally in the house, unless you're investing in nice big fancy football stadium lights, generally they're not wonderful. I know. What can I say? What those aliens must be hysterical. Oh, here, I'm just throwing in random things because it's a Friday evening. I heard another little fun. Did you listen to my letters to God the other day? Did you? Could you please, it was the previous one to this one. If you want a little laugh, go and listen to the letters to God. You get a few laughs on there. I heard another little one after this. Somebody that had been listening to that one threw in another one and said, oh, here, there's another one. The little boy. And he's praying. Oh, no, he's sitting in the house. Little boy's sitting in his house and he's wanting a bicycle. Oh, no, not a bike, a bicycle. And he was shouting at the top of his voice. He must have known those guys with the beep beep and the digger and the thing. He was shouting it. Maybe they were outside his house. Anyway, he was shouting, this little boy, want a bicycle, want a bicycle. And the father seemingly said to him, why are you shouting? No, the diggers weren't outside his house. So the father said, why are you shouting? God isn't deaf. And the little boy said, I know, but Granny is. He wanted a granny to buy him a bicycle. Just because it's Friday, I just thought I'd help you. I will help you as much as I can. I will even give you the explanation of my jokes. What was the other thing I was going to talk? Loyalty. I know I told you a bit about higgledy-piggledy. A Friday evening, I am allowed to be a little higgledy-piggledy with my message, but you're taking it all on board. Remember, I have gone from the lights, I have gone from the digger and the whole thing to the little boy with his bike. Loyalty. Now, this has come up in my conversation with many people over the last couple of weeks, kind of work related. Loyalty or lack of loyalty is causing quite a big issue. I know this has gone quite serious now. I know I was a bit lighthearted, but I just remembered this little thing and I thought, I'm going to mention it. I've said this at the beginning, when I started my podcast 2 years ago, I gave you a little explanation at that time. If you're a new listener, I shall repeat. When I pick a topic, I don't really come on with anything particular in mind. I just kind of roll with it, as I say, very casual. I'll just roll with what's in my mind. If I notice there's a theme going through conversations, say in this month, if I notice in conversations with spirituality that something's coming up more than once, more than twice, I then deliberately put it on a podcast, because I think there's obviously something out there when many people are discussing the same topic at the same time. Now, this is it. I'm taking a little curveball into a little bit of seriousness. Loyalty or lack of loyalty is a big issue, whether it's in the workplace, in your personal life, wherever it is, in family, wherever it is, loyalty. Now, what people have been saying the past while, even if you're subconsciously not trusting someone or people in general, whatever it is, it has a terrific impact on your life. Now, even if you've had situations in the past, I've noticed this myself in recent years. If you have had situations in the past and you've moved on in your life, but other people don't move on, they still keep the same kind of mindset. Now, this is where I'm coming to. The people I was talking to was regarding loyalty. And if there's no loyalty there, there's no trust. You're suspicious of other people's motives. You're always kind of second guessing. And a lot of the time, the second guessing, you've gone off track altogether. You've gone in a different direction altogether. And it stops you moving on. You remain stuck. Because in your mind, you're always suspicious. You're always watching. It's like a chess game. Instead of being relaxed and trusting people in their company, people who don't have that trust, as I said, it's like a chess game. They're watching the other person's move and then they're kind of trying to second guess it. Who on earth wants to live that way in life? Can you imagine how exhausting that would be? If you're kind of watching the motives, trying to second guess it. What way are they going? What way? I'll go this way. They're going that way. Oh, anyway. This is something you can ask yourself, and it's a good reminder of who you are. Do you show loyalty to people generally who are in your circle or around you? Or do you sit on the fence? Or do you stay under the radar? If you're in situations in your life and there's different circumstances, many people think, oh no, I don't want to get involved and I'm staying under the radar. I don't want to get noticed. Now, other people who are this is where the loyalty comes in. They don't put themselves first. If they believe in something, they will defend or they will support, and they will offer support, whether it's in workplace, as I said, or in your life generally. You would offer that support publicly, that people can see that you're offering this emotional support. Even if you feel that it's taking you out and you're actually showing an opinion, giving an opinion and sticking with it. The easy thing to do in life is to sit under the radar, not be seen, don't look as if you've got an opinion. I'm staying here. I don't want to be noticed. I'm not getting involved. I'm sitting here. Now, the repercussion from that type of thing is you're not showing any loyalty anywhere. There's no loyalty here. There's no loyalty there. You're just looking evasive, as if you're sitting on the fence. So other people pick up on that then, and then that comes across as a suspicion. So people then don't fully trust your motives, don't fully trust your actions, and then it has the opposite effect. So people will be looking at you, in general. If that was the way you were, I'd be looking at you thinking, well, you don't give your full trust. Now, this is the thing that's coming up a lot. I would say in the last few months anyway, I've noticed quite a few conversations, people saying there doesn't seem to be this open level of loyalty and trust where people are willing to kind of show their emotional support. I'm not talking on a major level. I'm just talking maybe in your work colleagues, your friends, family, wherever it is in that circle. I'm not talking about on a world or a global stage, I'm talking about in your everyday life. if you are not able to show a loyalty to those close to you or around you, but you sit on the fence and you stay under the radar. Now, that's not doing your character any good, because people think, well, what use is that? What use is that? And then what you do is you reflect that back. So later down the road, when you're looking for some emotional support, other people will be evasive, because they'll be thinking, no, you didn't show up. That funny expression you hear, you didn't have my back. You didn't have my back, I'll not have, that kind of stuff. Now, I wanted to mention that because it's been coming up a lot. We're in a spiritual plane. You're supposed to be able to show empathy, compassion, and loyalty. It's not all about you. If you put yourself first in those circumstances where you can't show others kindness and support, and you're thinking, oh no, it won't look very good on me, you're already off the path. Thank you for listening. I hope you like the light-hearted stuff in 15 minutes. Please revert back and listen to my other one yesterday. It was really quite funny. And I'll be back on maybe over the weekend. Take care for now. Bye-bye.